Believe it or not, kiwis are growing in Montour County. Well, kiwi berries to be more specific. They are a cousin to the fuzzy, larger version that you find in the grocery store. I visited Kiwi Corners and got an education in creative cultivation. I met Dave Jackson and Holly Labaugh at Kiwi Corners, their organic farm located outside Danville near Snydertown. For 21 years, the farm has produced Actinidia arguta, or hardy kiwi. This fruit, native to China, is predominantly grown in New Zealand and the Pacific Northwest of the United States. However, this unassuming farm in Montour County is the world's only certified organic grower and packer of hardy kiwi. For nearly 30 years, Dave Jackson has been testing and researching what he calls kiwi berries. His goal was to identify and develop the best varieties of hardy kiwi. Today, Kiwi Berry Organics, the marketing arm of Kiwi Corners Farms, produces and packages two distinct varieties of hardy kiwi under the names Aloha Anna and Passion Poppers. The Passion Popper variety was developed by Dave and has a very distinct flavor, different from the Aloha Anna. Hardy kiwi are packed with nutrients and antioxidants, all in a super sweet, bite-sized fruit. Management of this crop presented its own challenges, but after much study of industry practices and research done at Kiwi Corners, Dave and Holly are convinced they have discovered the best way to organically produce hardy kiwi. First, most hardy kiwi is grown on a pergola system. This system does not allow sunlight to penetrate, therefore the kiwi do not blush and remain green. Additionally, they will not achieve the highest residual sugar level, measured in bricks, when grown on a pergola system. On a standard trellis system, which allows lateral branches to drape close to the ground, vines do not produce as much high-quality fruit further down the lateral. Dave found that the best fruit on a T-bar trellis is produced at the shoulders, where the lateral cane bends. Therefore, he modified a T-bar trellis to allow plenty of sunlight to penetrate and maximize the shoulder space for better size and quality of fruit. The raised beds under each trellis allow for organic weed control and fertilization. Using a grape hoe, Dave turns over the weeds which have been fertilized along with the kiwi vines. The weeds now serve as a green manure for the vines, thereby reducing the need for fertilizer and eliminating the need for herbicides. Hardy kiwi plants are either male or female. With the aid of a SARE, Sustainable Agricultural Research and Education grant, Dave and Holly studied kiwi pollination and reproduction. Because the flowers of the hardy kiwi produce no nectar, bees are an inadequate source of pollination. Wind is the best method of transporting pollen from the male to the females. Therefore, placement of the males around each block at the farm is important.
We'll run males on the westerlies and on the southerlies, because you have your southern bubble coming up in June.
The heavy rains we experienced this spring knocked down many of the flowers in one block of vines just at the peak of pollination.
This ought to be a very good year for the quality of the fruit itself.
Quantity may not be what you're used to, just given the pollination issues, or did you?
Quantity is down.
With 20 acres under trellis, the work never stops at Kiwi Corners. Berries are hand-picked in late September when residual sugar levels are highest and packed into 6-ounce clamshells. Since the fruit will continue to ripen after picking, it is cooled to 32 degrees for 3 days and then slowly returned to room temperature. This practice gives the fruit a longer shelf life and eliminates the need for ethylene gas for ripening. After harvesting the best fruit for packaging, the remaining fruit is picked for value-added products, including a dessert wine produced at Spyglass Ridge Winery in Sunbury. Once the harvest is complete, the structural pruning work begins. New spurs from the vine will produce more fruit than older ones, so when the new growth is present, the older growth is pruned away. Also, when left to their own devices, hardy kiwi vines will wrap around anything and pile up on top of themselves, creating quite a mess. Dave showed us how they train each vine out across the cable and secure it to prevent wind damage and improve the structure of the plant. A 38-foot-tall wind machine is Dave's answer for frost protection.
That does is that brings the warm air from up above across the fields and blows it and pushes out the cold air.
This flat of hardy kiwi plants is about 5 months old. It will be another 3 years before they can be put into the ground, and the vines will be 8 to 12 years old before they bear fruit. On a trip to New Zealand, Dave learned how to graft, which can save years in the production timeline.
If you have an old plant with really good roots, when you cut off and you put your new wood in, all right, within 3 years you'll be back into production.
Kiwi Corners is also home to more than 20 turkeys. The heritage birds are part of a USDA grant to study water sources for field animals. This grant helped fund installation of additional wells for irrigation at the farm. Kiwi Berry Organics are available locally at Rohrbox Market, or you can have them shipped directly to you. Visit kiwiberry.com and click on Kiwi Berry Direct to place your order. There's also a lot of great information about the innovative practices at Kiwi Corners, and it's all right here in your neighborhood.